Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. They clean up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Howdy, Daft Punk's in the building, back in full of force. I am not Fusemania from Cincinnati.
I am not Drew Pierce from Long Beach, California. In fact, today I am David.
Today I am Joey Lawrence from the hit TV show Blossom.
You're gonna have to think of a new one. You're Joey Lawrence from the hit TV show Blossom all the time. You're gonna have to think of a new random character. What else was Joey Lawrence in that you can be from? Maybe.
You know, the other one that I used to like to tell girls back when I was single was, I'm the kid from the English muffin commercial. It's got nooks and crannies inside. It always got
random shit, and girls liked it. They liked it.
Of course they did. Of course. I'm married now, right?
Poor Mandy. Poor Mandy. Today we have a great guest for you guys. Before we get into that, we want to say thank you so much for listening. We always appreciate you guys reaching out, tagging us, all that good stuff. We do have a voicemail from the YOLO line, so I'm gonna play it real quick. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Demand. Listen, I just listened to the DJ Bar episode, and I did love it. But I'm a little hurt. I thought we had an agreement that I'd be the only DJ from New Jersey on your show this calendar year. I didn't want to come to this, but I guess you'll be hearing from my legal team soon. Good day, sirs. Hi, this is Saul Weinstein from Weinstein, Goldberg & Associates. It's our understanding that you promised our client, Mr. DJ Demand, exclusive podcast guest privileges for all disc jockeys from New Jersey for the calendar year of 2022. And it looks like you breached this agreement with the airing of your episode featuring a certain DJ Bar. We demand that you either take this episode down or else we'll be coming after that sweet, sweet liquid death money you finally have coming in. Please reply promptly with your response. Good day, sirs.
Oh, man. Mr. Weinstein.
Well, guess what?
DJ Demand, maybe? I don't know. If everybody fooled or not there.
It seems legit. So what we're doing is we're doubling down, and we invited another New Jersey DJ just to say, try us. Yeah.
Hit my lawyer, bro. Come at me.
Come at me, bro. I got Larry H. Parker coming at you.
What's the lawyer's name in Seinfeld? I forget. Or Jesse Jackson.
Larry H. Parker and Jesse Jackson, and here locally it's Sweet James. Sweet James is crushing it's everywhere. It's Sweet James. He's the new Larry H. Parker.
It's Blake the Maslin attorney, and he wears boxing gloves on it's 444 4444, and he's got boxing gloves on every billboard around town. Then you can't forget about Saul Goodman.
Oh, Saul Goodman. If you got that much extra money, just spend it on advertising, right?
Yeah.
Just spend it on a great advertising team.
And I Love You, Man, where he gets the urinal cakes with his face on them, and he's like, I'm pissing on myself.
All right. Well, we need lawyer money so we need to win this battle against Mr. Weinstein so that we could, basically pay for better advertising for the show.
Yeah, we need to win this battle plus some to pay for advertising for this show and everything else from that sweet, sweet liquid death money. I mean, that went fast. We had that three episode contract, and now it's gone again, and we're not sponsored by Liquid Death again. So just like that, I'm gonna say we're not sponsored by Liquid Death.
But we are not sponsored by Liquid Death, so let's open that real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna crack my Liquid Death here. Oh man, that was really good pop. Ah, so good.
That being said, we are not sponsored by Liquid Death. That is a fact. But me and Fuse are putting it out there for everyone. We're doing a dry January and we're doing a battle. We're battling each other to the death or to the skinniest. Either one. But we're going to dry January and we're battling. So anybody that wants to join us, we're throwing it out there. And I will be drinking more Liquid Death than I ever have because I'm gonna need that. The fake.
We're having the
fake-
biggest loser, the biggest loser competition. So I have weighed in at the fattest that I have been in like since 2018. So, and I'll just say it because I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I'm 243. So 243. I'm trying to get down and beat Drew. And the winner of the competition is obviously whoever loses the most weight. And in Drew and Fuse fashion, we're gonna make ourselves fatter once we're the champion by taking one or the other on a steak dinner. So, to the victor goes the spoils.
So you are a hefty cinch sack at this point. I'm only 230.
Yeah, but I got a few inches. I got a few inches on you.
All right. That's what she said. I'll take it. So we're doing. It's going to come down to the battle of the death, and we got lots coming on 23. So I'm just going to say this: I'm calling this the Jordan year. This is the year of 23. And if you guys haven't watched the documentary and you need some mindset shift, then get in on it because this is the Jordan year, and we're going to take some fools down.
Yeah. So along with all that good stuff, we just also want to tell you that we do have a little sponsor tag from Briggs Beard Company. If you use the promo code DAFS, it'll get you 20% off any product on the website. So if you like oiling your beard like Drew's doing right now live on camera, if you're listening to this, you can see how you can take drops of Jupiter and make it rain all over yourself. And
Stop, I'm dead.
It
is like drops of Jupiter. I think you need to put that in the tagline, like drops of Jupiter.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Briggs Beard Company. We appreciate the sponsorship. Again, you can use promo code DAFS to get 10% off any item on the website. I did see he ran out of combs though. So if you're looking for a comb before Christmas, shit out of luck. Also, just so you know, there is no nitroglycerin involved in the making of Briggs Beard oil. No, not.
You know, one of my favorite products by him too, because he sent over a couple things. Is the lip balm is so good, right?
You love putting big sticks on your lip. I know. It's okay. So one last thing we want to talk about is the promo code Drew and Fuse Show for DMS. It'll get you 30% off your first month. There's their sponsorships. There you have them. If you didn't know about those already, we got a great guest for you guys today. Very, very good guest. Let me pull up my notes here. Sound off that boxing bell. Ding, ding, ding. Standing in at 5'4", he's been entertaining at private events before he's had a driver's license. He's known as a trifecta in the industry, a true MC, DJ, and VJ. He's hosted and DJ'd events across the world, including Ecuador, Puerto Rico, Miami, Cancun, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, LA, Seattle, San Francisco, and many more. He has corporate clients such as United Airlines, Bacardi, Miller Lite, Bose, Electro Voice, Coors Light. I can't keep doing it. It's really hard.
That's why you can stay the big bucks.
Countless fashion shows and a national tour with Playboy. He has cameo and TV.
We gotta ask him about that. Wait. We gotta ask him about that.
I know.
Sounds awful. I'm married. It sounds terrible.
Do you have any cameos? I don't have any cameos. Well, anyway, he's got cameos and TV appearances on Extra, Bravo, and HGTV, and whatever your mom watches at home. He's part of the legendary SCE event group. Please help us welcome Jeff Scott Gould.
Oh my God. Yeah, you just remind me I really, really, really have to update that bio. Uh, I think when I started, it was Continental Airlines. That's how old that bio was. Oh yeah, they got bought out. They're United now. And that Playboy tour, by the way, was super interesting. I could talk about 1 or 2 states only, but it was pretty good.
All right. Well, we just added that to the rapid fire, so that will definitely get talked about on this one. Dude, we're stoked to have you on. This is amazing. It's been a long time coming. You love trolling Fusamania with the Shania Twain, which makes me none happier because he deserves it.
I found my calling. Literally found my calling with that. You know, I was depressed. Like, how do I connect to the Drew and Fuse show? And then, bam, Shania Twain comes into my life like and there I am.
So there's only 2 Shania Twain songs, right? Is there anything else?
Well,
Not that I know of. I mean, I have a whole CD when it first came out, but I don't know what's there's only what's the second one? Oh, the slow one yeah.
Oh, we got more questions to that, so let's not jump the gun.
Before we get too into it, I do want to play this video because we're just going to jump right into the rapid fire, and I have a question to lead it off with. But first, we're hitting you with this video. Here we go.
Brand new.
Well, hey there, it's Dolly. And I must say, it takes a lot of money to look as cheap as Drew and Fuse. Well, they do clean up nicely, though. Speaking of cleaning up nicely, why don't we get into some rapid fire? Today's guest, how nicely do you clean up?
Well,
Oh my God.
You're the
Is
first.
that the Dolly from Nashville?
Yeah, it is.
that's the real Dolly.
That's
The
real
real
Dolly.
Dolly.
You're first. You're
Wow.
first for Dolly. When we got a picture with her in Nashville, and me, Fuse's real name is David. We were the Triple D's.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She literally
I've
said
never
that.
seen the videos. I always listen to you guys on Spotify. So I catch them every now and again on YouTube, but like I haven't seen all the clips yet, but first one in there. Oh,
Yeah, it's the first brand new for you.
So
I know.
Being a country music connoisseur, seeing how you play Shania Twain every event, it seems like. Has country been something that you have been into since you've been little, or how's it go?
Well, I've always been little, so I've never really progressed out of that. And I got this little motto. It hangs on my wall at my own house. I'm at Valentina's house, but it's just like, friends don't let friends do country. Like it's just like it's like over the mirror. It's in the shower. I hit that little sign before I walk out the door. Yeah.
I love that sign. I will agree with that sign.
I need
Although
one of those.
Right. Yeah.
I
I'm country is like probably on the bottom of my least favorite genres.
Same.
When I used to get booked for weddings, they'd always be like, ask me, what do you like? What do you dislike? And country was always the one where I couldn't do it. But then a phase in California became barn weddings. And guess what? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, everyone likes fucking country. Being that country has like some of the last quote unquote bands at all, really. I don't hate it as much as I used to, even though it's pop music now.
I mean, same. It is. It's better. It's definitely better. And I mean, I know it from just like requests. I just keep building my folder. I'm like, ooh, that one worked. Put that in the folder. That's a good one. I'll put that in the folder. Yeah.
We need the 10-minute mini or the 10-minute mega mix, country mega mix piss break where it's like you and me going fishing in the dark, any man of mine, like, and just runs off just like 5 bars of each song of like all the hot country songs at the wedding, and then you're done.
Yeah. I mean, country music definitely sweeps up. They clean up on slow songs. Every first dance, every parents' dance they do is like a country song, and country songs are great in cocktail hour. And then the 3 songs during dessert, which is like, I can't even think of the one now. I know, cause Bird always plays the background country jams. But that's as far as I go, but thank God, right? Didn't Nate Nelson just start a list on
Beat Sort?
Yeah.
Shout out Nate Nelson.
I'm thankful for that. Yeah. I didn't know. You know, it's in the what do you call it? It's in like the actual curated playlist. You don't have to
Okay.
like load it up. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I play some Dan and Shay. I don't know. You gotta dig in there, but there's enough. You get enough brides, you do enough weddings, and they've curated it all for you. And you're just like, oh sweet,
Yes.
here we go. Let's play this
Seriously.
one again.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
when I
find-
love playlists. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's exactly what I love playlists. Send me more of those
Yes.
ones I don't know anything.
Hell yeah.
What are the top 5 first dance country songs that just come to your mind?
In case you didn't know, Dan and Shay, Dan and Shay, Dan and Shay.
Yeah. Seriously.
Right. Then I mean, I actually had Shania Twain like every now and again. It makes a creepily appearance in there.
Die Happy Man. Die Happy Man. I had to pull my list.
I've had that as request, but I've never had it as a first dance. It's always just like,
Alright.
oh, you got to play that, like, you know, whatever. But
Right.
yeah, like what? Like Speechless. What's the other one they
Speechless.
have?
Brad Paisley.
of the other
Then
Oh yeah. I done that. Yeah, then I'd have to like literally like hit my country.
Blake
But in
Shelton.
case you
God
didn't
gave
know
me
his
you.
name- I've had that for a parents' dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the country music edition of the Drew and Fuse show right here.
All right.
Yeah.
Change the subject before we lose
All
everybody.
right, so we got
Yeah,
another
please, thank you.
fire question for you. Here we go. What is your pre-wedding ritual? Because we've seen your videos. You have more energy than Drew. You have more energy than Drew Pierce after he pops a Blue Chew.
I thought you were gonna say more energy than Drew pooping. I literally thought that was happening right now. I'm like, how do you know that? And why are we there already?
Well,
What's my pre-ritual? Oh my god. So honestly, I've been doing this forever, but I get nervous as fuck. I'm still like, I think it's all nerves because I'm like, I can't fuck up the names. I don't want to mess up the names. So I think like I mean, I loaded my own gear. We're not like bougie where we have roadies and stuff. So you know, we get there 2 hours before everything starts, load everything in, and then I start pulling out the camera and start doing like my reels, you know, so shit I gotta post later. And then after that, it's legit all nerves. It's just all nerves that I just kind of, you know, okay, all right. I got 26 names to do. You know, I got like she's Greek with 26 syllables and he's Portuguese. So the names look Spanish, but they're pronounced totally different. Let's go do this, you know. That's just yeah. I mean, even for as long as I've been doing it, it's just nervous energy, I think.
Now, are you finding that you're still doing first and last names?
So for me, I always ask, well, if they say first names, I'm just doing first names. If they're both are on there, I'll ask to how to pronounce everything because I think it sounds more natural instead of going da 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 da. I might go like Jim and Michelle, and then I might do like 2 last names to change it up. I try and MC like very like conversational, so I don't want to make it sound like you know it's robotic. So I like having the flexibility, but it's also good because if you have a name that you try 5 times and you still can't pronounce it, it gets you out of it, you know? You get the like Knasalasa Masanasowitz kind of song, like last names, you know, and you're like, I'm gonna kill it. So you just be like, oh, that's when it's like Alan and Michelle. And then the next one, if it's like Joe Smith and you know, whoever it is, like, you know, Brenda Cartwright, then hey, those are easy ones. I can do those. So I just like having the flexibility. Yeah.
In my market, we've really been seeing nobody wants to do the couple grand entrance anymore. It's mostly just like a group. So it'll be like all of the bridal party or all the guys and all the girls. Are you seeing that shift or are you still doing a lot more?
Yeah. So we do a lot of groups. So now it's like we'll do the parents, we'll bring in the groups, but then I still got a lot of like maid of honor and best man get their own jam because like they're the VIPs or whatever. But it really depends. Like in where we are, I'm in like kind of central Jersey-ish. So if we go a little more south or even like west, like South Jersey or west, almost a PA, you get more traditional. And then as we go maybe north to New York City or something like that, or even just in our area, then they're like more on trends or whatever. So it really depends. And it's funny, like I'll do like 4 weddings a weekend and it's just like all like totally different.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Awesome. So one of the other things that we like to ask is if you have any funny DJ stories, a crazy DJ story, a nightmare DJ story, anything like that you want to tell, we want to hear.
I got a great one. And this is why I loaded this up Before, oh yeah, I'll come back to that. So I'm gonna set this up. I guess the best way I can set this up is do you remember the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl? Is that
18, right?
Well,
16?
it
18?
had to been
17?
It had to have been before the pandemic, so it was either 18 or 19, one of the two,
Yeah,
or 17,
maybe it was
18 or
18.
19.
All right. So we got to fly out to the Super Bowl, right? So Chennai actually, he was like the DJ and everything. And he brought me out there to kind of shoot content. And like, I'm like I'm like one of those like multi like tool knife people. So I'm good to take out on event, cause I can shoot footage. I could DJ if we have to, I can make announcements, whatever we got to do. I could like set up gear. So he brings me out there. And we're doing the whole thing. I'm shooting all the stuff for him. I meet a couple on the elevator. You talk about like an elevator pitch, right? They're from Philly, Jersey, or whatever. And this girl was dressed like Marilyn Monroe, and this guy was, and I've never been out there before. It's like minus 16 during the day out there, right?
Hard pass.
So this girl's like dressed like Marilyn Monroe. It was like Minneapolis, right? Minnesota, right? Is that where it was? Minneapolis?
No idea.
Yeah. Anyway, somewhere in Midwest, super cold.
Minnesota.
And this guy's Minnesota, yeah. And this guy's like just wearing like a shirt, and so my thing was just like, "Where are you guys going? It's freezing." Like, "Oh, we're going whatever." And when they're talking, they're like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "Oh, we're DJing, whatever." And she's like, "Oh my God, we're engaged." Blah, blah. I don't know how in like 12 floors we exchange information, right? So I end up meeting this couple, and I'm gonna set up like this. So I had to blur out all these faces because this is gonna get
so good.
Right.
You're already ahead of the technology thing right here. This is incredible.
So
all right,
I'm trying to protect the innocent here. So I meet this couple right here, right? Now I just got to talk about this couple really quick. This guy who's wearing shorts is some guitarist they met out in the Midwest. They flew him out to Jersey for this. We're in a tent that's in a yacht club, like a boat club that her dad is part of. So they're doing all this stuff against the will of the yacht club. So we're getting shit for this. This is the same day as the Kentucky Derby. So if you could see so like on the right there's like TVs there. So we actually had to literally show the Kentucky Derby during this. This bride and groom get married on the beach. They come back here.
Wait, stop.
Right.
You're not having the Kentucky Derby right. People are gambling as this is going on.
That'd be fucking tight. I would love to go to that wedding.
Dude, we had to run like 600 feet of cable from like the little TV box, like where all the belligerent old yachtsmen are like drinking themselves to death on their retirement like schedule, right? And we're showing the Kentucky Derby.
Wait, under the sands. Wait. Did you get a shovel out and you're just like digging a whole line for this?
Well, just by hand because the old timers are like, yeah, someone's gonna trip over the cable. So like in New Jersey, instead of having like gravel, they literally just take like dirt and just shells and they chop it up and like it lays all over where you like they keep these boats. So just by hand, we dug it up nice and early, and then we buried everything, which is great. At the end of the night, we have like all those cables you got to roll, and they're all disgusting. But anyway, we're doing that. We're showing the Kentucky Derby, and he says, "Jeff, after that, I'm going to give you a video." I'm like, "Can you send it to me ahead of time? I want to make sure it's good." He's like, "Oh, we're still working on it, and it's kind of a surprise." So I'm like, "All right, cool, no problem." We start off with this first dance. Hands me the video, like right before the first dance. He's like, "Is it playing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's playing." He's like, "Cool." We play the video. The video goes on to tell everyone that they were on a plane to Las Vegas to get married a year prior to this wedding. Nobody knew. He's from Canada. She's from Jersey. He was going to lose his visa to stay in the country. They get married in Vegas a year and a half ago. Nobody knows. They're best friends. Nobody. So they're like, "Surprise, everyone, we're already married." I literally saw like the bride's parents just spit their drink like all over the person in front of them. Like, what the flock of seagulls did I just hear?
They didn't tell them? Oh my God, it's a nightmare.
Nobody. They went through this whole video like, "Oh, we're love, whatever." And it ends with them on a plane going to Vegas. "Hey, we're getting married." And then they literally take the microphone. They're like, "Oh yeah, so that was shot a year ago." So their parents are like pissed that they had no idea what's going on, right?
Oh,
so
dude, I'd be pissed. I'd be fucking pissed
right.
if that was my kid. I don't know.
Right. So it starts like this. Now, before all this, like we're already fuming because like we're fighting with the venue trying to get this all set up, and the guy who was shooting video for me, I'm gonna play this clip. Hopefully, you guys can hear this.
Jeff, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. There's like no timeline. The groom's out of his fucking mind. They made honor drop my $2,000 microphone. Super happy about that, by the way. But we're gonna play and hope it doesn't rain on us.
Wow.
That's the most positive thing I've ever heard, because I don't know that I would be responding like that. So I'm impressed.
Right. So now, let me take it to the second chapter. This is where it gets really good. The groom was literally crazy, right? So we start dancing.
Oh my God, I'm dead. Stop. If you guys aren't watching this on YouTube, you're missing out. Like, this is amazing.
That's the groom. Okay, you can see the Canadian. That's how I know he's the groom, because he's the Canadian thing, whatever, right? So I don't know. Apparently, into our first dance set, he's already had, I don't know, a box of wine. I have no idea what's going on in this guy's brain. And so now he's down to his boxer briefs,
Box of wine,
okay?
That's it, eh?
Right? Yeah. And then we progress. Now he's singing. I'm trying to protect everyone here, so if you can understand what's
Bro.
that right there. That's the groom. Okay. So that's the groom right there. Let's move on now, because it gets better. This is also the groom right here. I might as well kind of.
I don't even know how you gave him the mic, because usually that's the point when this is when we need dummy
Right.
mics, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need
yeah.
dummy mics.
So that microphone's working. The other one was not working anymore. Okay, so that's good. Let's clear that. Let's move on to the next one now. It gets better. It gets better. So now I decided to also drink. So I'm over here. I don't know what my hands are doing, but I'm trying to catch this thing right here that's gonna make its way right into me. Right? Because I figured, hey, if he's drinking, he offered me tequila, I'm in. This party is out of its mind, right? So now we're doing that. He's still in good shape. Now they decide to pick him up, and I don't know where. And now if you can see here, like I can see this guy's hand, but there's hands under here somewhere. This guy's only wearing underwear. I don't know what's happening with those hands. Right? I'm just playing music right now. Now, if I just jump really back, we're gonna come forward, but. This dress right here, I don't have any pictures of it. This thing, the top part that she's wearing is like a Victoria's Secret rip away something or other. So while he is he's overdoing this, she rips that off, and she literally just has like this lace onesie on. And she's like somewhere over here, like in the corner. There's like a table, and she's dancing on the table. But I told him, do not get pictures of her. I figured it's okay to have a naked guy, but maybe not a naked bride, right? So now
What
I don't
is
know.
happening in
I
that
don't even-
photo?
I don't even know. Is that a leg or an arm? What is up?
Oh, this is his arm, right? That's his arm right there. And now he's smacking my ass with one of those disco sticks, right? And then the only thing keeping me sane is this thing right here. I'm circling this thing right there. See that red Solo cup? Talk about country music, right there. That's getting me through this amazingness. And he decides I haven't had enough to drink yet.
No.
Yeah, so now we're in cue the champagne shower songs, right?
No.
And you can see this,
God.
like this person here, this person here, this person here, this person here.
And they're
that
all
person-
smiling
they're like-
exactly the same, right? If you took off the smiles,
Right.
it's exactly the same thing, right? They're not. It's not.
Right.
Oh no, what's happening?
Right. So I had to protect the innocent, and then we end up like this.
Oh my
God! You actually win on the fucking craziest DJ story.
No. Oh my
Right,
God.
right.
Guys
Those
are
of you who are-
listening. He's
Yeah.
So
naked.
this guy, yeah, I know it doesn't translate, but I figured like we got to get more YouTube views for the Drew and Fuse show, so
That's
I think
right.
we got to give them a reason to get to the tubes of the U, and this is amazing. I like this guy. This guy's like, oh, should I look? Should I not look? I don't really know, but I'm kind of looking. Dude,
Oh
this
my
was the
God!
craziest-
So not only did he
Crazy
drop
as
on
shit.
mom and dad that he's been married to daughter for so long, but he just decides to fucking pull out his yo-yo at the wedding too.
Oh, he's doing around the world and walk the dog all at the same trick, bro.
Yo, that was the craziest thing. Now what capped it at the end of the night, we're like loading out and they shut off like the old timers, they shut everything off. So now like we're using, I think I don't know if we even had uplights there. We didn't even have uplights. So we're using like our iPhone cameras to break down. And like we're just looking for everything else. I'm rolling out, I hear ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what was that? So we chase the sound. We go into like the bushes right before loading out. We find the groom's ring at the end of the night, his wedding ring on the ground dude, the craziest. But all because I met them at the Super Bowl in the
In
elevator.
the elevator.
Like, yeah, so that was like
That's a Marilyn Monroe. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Now, have you ever heard from them again? Because you did become friends.
well, at the end of the wedding, they're like, "Oh my God, we go boating all summer, like whatever." I never heard from them. I honestly, if that marriage is still together, like they are gonna stand the test of time. That was the craziest, shit. Like, dude, I mean, I wish I could find the video footage. That's the only behind the scenes I can find because like I archived that stuff on Dropbox, but Bird happened to have his phone for some strange reason because I was flipping out and my buddy Pag was filming me. He's like, "Oh my God, I know we can't post any of this, but I'm just gonna record Jeff throwing up back there, flipping out the whole time."
Let's recap. They had the horse races on. He dropped your mic, which I would have been so pissed off.
The maid of honor did that like
Oh fuck.
You hand dug 300 feet of stuff, and then the groom the groom gets naked. The bride almost gets naked. She gets in lingerie. I mean, you win. Someone else come with a better story.
That was a good one. I mean, there's some other whatever, but like to have it documented, I'm like, I just got to show it. Like,
so good, dude. I'm very impressed.
It's a crazy horror, amazing all in one too. I mean, it hits all three boxes.
But like this is stuff in the trenches. Like, so when you see this, it makes parties that are semi-hard feel like nothing. Like, so I mean, you gotta appreciate these boot camp weddings we do, because like it's nothing compared to that,
I want to ask a question for you. It's something that just came up in mind. I thought we were past the mic drop, right? And these mics aren't cheap. I just had a Christmas party and the owner was a piece of work and he's like, should I drop the mic? And it's silent. And me in the corner goes, no, right? And he looks back at me and he goes, oh, I guess I shouldn't. But my question to you is, do you have something new in your contract or ever since then? I mean, it's silly, but it's important for anybody, because we all get these kind of weddings.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have like a mic drop clause per se, but we do have like basically if anything gets damaged, and we've had it like, I had that microphone recouped to me, they paid for it, they understand it. But I had an instant, I did a wedding in Philly where I saw the guy was ready to do that. And I was down to the side, I was like, like loudest whisper I could possibly do. Don't do that. Don't do that. Loud enough, everyone like in my area heard it because, he was like doing that. I was just like, don't do that. And he turned around. He's like, oh, got you, bro. I got you, bro. One of those. Yeah. But yeah, we have that like damage, whatever. If you break something, you break it, you buy it kind of a thing.
Right. Right.
Oh boy.
Scares me every time.
People just are dumb. They have no idea what some of the stuff costs at all, and they just don't care. And like, if it's not theirs, it doesn't matter. I hate people.
Right.
It's a celebration. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand when you're somewhat out of your mind. You're kind of just like, this is a moment in my life, and I don't care about anything else. Right.
Right. I do understand it, but like we have the clause as long as like, everything gets, covered. I mean, there's some stuff that's overboard. Like that groom was out of his mind and when he's spraying champagne, he's also spraying us, I'm surprised like everything worked for that entire night. I'm more nervous about the rain and then all of a sudden the guy's like, yeah, champagne showers, Yay, thank you.
It makes me think of a story. I haven't thought of this. I used to DJ this club in Lexington, and this was back when Anthony Davis was at UK, and the basketball team would come in there all the time, and they would buy bottles, and then they would buy bottles of champagne. but they would only buy them if the club would let them do champagne showers. And I was like, look, guys, I don't give a fuck if they do that. But like right where the DJ booth was, the table would be like right next to it on the side over here. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if they do that, but you got to buy like a tarp or something. So when they're doing it, I can just pull it over everything. Sure enough, they did. And it was like a 2-level club, and the DJ booth was over top of like the main. There's like the VIP area and the peasant area, and they're spraying all the peasants up top, from up top. And oh man, it was almost a disaster, but one of those stories,
All right.
But,
well, keep
all right,
moving.
cool. Keep it
Amazing
moving.
story. You win. You
Yes,
win.
Amazing story. Favorite one-word, non-word, curse word. One-word, non-curse word.
Well, mine is like, I guess mine would have to be kind of like a, all the reminders coming up my phone. Mine's kind of like a hyphen. So mine's like, what a douche. That's what I always say. It's like, what a hyphen. Like, you got to say it with the Jersey accent. I know you guys had some douche before on your show, but mine's always like, what a douche. That's like all the O's, the oosh.
It is very Jersey.
What a WATA dash douche. Like, what a douche. So I don't know. To me, that covers a lot.
Yeah,
it does.
Makes sense.
Perfect.
I'm
I'm marking it down.
All right, the go-to New Jersey food spot that we would go to.
It's weird. I've lived in like 12 different spots in New Jersey, but Jersey is kind of famous for diners. I don't know why. There's a lot of diners up in our area. So where I used to grow up, Pompton Queen Diner is like a legend spot. It was always packed 24 hours a day, so you can get anything you want. And they were so busy that like the freshest stuff. And if you get it at the right time, you would get like all the
24 hours.
Yeah. 24-hour diner. But like if you get there at the right time, it's like almost the after party for all bars, so you can get there and it was just like the party would continue, so like that's the one. And then there's you guys know Sicilian pizza? It's like the square pizza, the way they call Sicilian pizza by us. V&J Pizza is another one. It has the best Sicilian pizza ever, like the homemade sauce. I literally think they pet and sleep with their tomatoes before they crush it. You know what I mean? It's got to reach a certain like viscosity of red before they put it in there. And, I think all the leaves of basil are like clean with toothbrushes. It's like the best. If I was ever to take like a bath with like a food liquid, it would be like their sauce that they put on their Sicilian pizza.
Okay, now I'm definitely having pizza for lunch because I'm craving this now.
I mean, people can really screw up pizza, which you think it's like the easiest thing ever, but this pizza is just like,
everyone's got different tastes in pizza. So no,
yeah. But like Sicilian's like thick, right? It's like that thick pizza. So you could like, if you get like the full thing, you can almost like open it up and like make it a blanket, get in there, like curl yourself inside, like smell the garlic, and eat the pizza from the inside out, that's pizza. So
you've thought about this. I like that. It's in depth.
Well, I went to culinary school. I cooked for like 9 years. So like I have a big love for food. I went to Johnson & Wales up in Rhode Island. So I got a degree in culinary arts and like I love food. So like I can, we talk about food. There's
wait. Well, let's talk about this. We're already on it. Culinary, like tell us more. Was this something that you were going to do before DJing?
So I started in restaurants when I was in 8th grade. Like I'm one of 10, right? So my mom had to find a place to stick us. It's just like.
And where do you stand in that in the 1 of 10?
7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my babysitters worked at this restaurant. They were waitresses. So when I was old enough, get sneak in there. I started working at a restaurant in 8th grade. So I just worked there through high school. They taught me how to cook and everything. And then from there, ended up going to culinary school while I was DJing. I was DJ when I was like 16, but like, so also the waitresses would go to this local bar. So they would sneak me in to start DJing at this place when I was 16, so.
This is when he tells us he's got like a Michelin star too. By the way, along with my long list of accolades, I have a Michelin star too.
Yeah, so that's why I got into cooking just like out of just working at the restaurant. So then I ended
And
up
so,
like
what do
going.
you like to cook, and why did it not stick, and why did DJ stick more than the cooking?
I would say probably the hours because cooking is like 70, 80 hours a week. It's like crazy the amount of hours you do, you know? And my favorite thing, if I went in professional, I'd be like a saucier. I love like soups and sauces because I don't know, you just think of anything you guys eat. Think like a fish, a piece of meat, even like a salad. Like, right, lettuce is lettuce, but it's like the dressing you put on it. Like the chicken, it's the, even like pizza, it's that pizza sauce or
My
protein
real question
gravy,
is,
whatever.
how did your DJ name not become DJ Saucier? That's what I really need to know.
Believe me, I had to fight off being Jazzy Jeff because everyone like,
That's what the S stands for, Drew. That's what the S stands for.
Jeff Saucier Gould.
Yeah.
saucier. That's about as big as a college word you're gonna get on this.
We do have a segment for you.
Yeah, yeah. At the
We have a
end,
segment
we
at
do
the end
have a
for
new
you.
segment, the sauce.
Oh
So
boy.
we'll
Got it.
talk about the saucier. We might need to change part of
Looking
it,
up
dude,
the
to the
recipe.
saucier. Yeah, saucier. All right.
So, okay, one last rapid fire thing that you kind of alluded to earlier that we wanted to ask you about was the national tour with Playboy.
So
Sounds
when
terrible.
I started, like, what's up?
So it sounds terrible.
Well, it was terrible. It was terrible. Actually, part of it's were pretty terrible, but I was so when I started working in like the DJ world, I met this guy. His name is Art. His nickname is Bacardi Artie. The guy started in Florida in like the early 80s. I mean,
Did he
legit-
actually like Bacardi? I mean, I know you got to run with it, but did you lean
yeah.
hard on it? And you're like, hey, I only drink Bacardi. I even got a
I know, yeah.
sponsorship.
I think it was his like original sponsor back in the day, and that's what I called him. I never knew the origin story of it,
All right.
But he's the guy. Like, you ever see Velcro walls where people put on like the thing?
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
he's like one of the guys that he was like the co-founder of shit like that. Like he was like the over top promotions. Like one time, before I tell you the story, one time, like literally, we're doing this Easter promotion. He's like, dude, I need you to dress up in an Easter costume, and we're gonna put you in an egg, and we're gonna wheel you out in a radio flyer wagon. We're gonna put you on stage, and you're gonna sit in there for like 10 minutes, and then you're gonna break out of the egg, and then we're gonna put like $100 bills in like the eggs you're gonna throw out, right?
At what point do you say no? I mean, I would be like, nah, fam.
Wait, so
Nah,
you
nah.
were dressed as an Easter bunny and you broke out of an egg on a Playboy tour and threw eggs at people with $100 bills in them.
No, this is before the Playboy tour.
Oh,
He's the
okay,
reason I got it. This is like the origin story how I got it. But I'm just showing you how wild I was.
Okay, yeah.
So,
He
like
knows you're all in, though.
we did crazy shit like that. Like I literally put a like a pulley on my back with wings and a diaper, and I flew across a dance floor for like Valentine's Day, and I dropped like he made me do crazy shit. This guy. So
Where's
anyway,
the video for that, bro?
Yeah.
I know.
Where's the
this
screen?
is before. This is
Where's the
before. This is
screen?
90,
All right.
90,
Drew,
90s.
remember, this is War and Peace gramophone era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. My age, $100. You know. So anyway, this company like heard of this guy Artie, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing this crazy tour, Miller Lite. Like it's called Spin the Bottle. So we want you to drive around the country with two centerfolds and then a Playboy, whatever. So 3 Playboy girls with these 6-foot wheels, and you're gonna carry them around to all these different states, and we're gonna like spin the bottle, and then like the contestants have to do this stuff with these Playboy models." He wasn't available, so he's like, "I got the perfect guy for you." And he's like, "Jeff," he like rubbed my shoulders. I've been training you for this. You're ready." I meet this couple in the city, and then sure enough, we have 2 6-foot spin the bottle wheels, and there's like shit like stand upside down and drink a whatever, or swap shirts, or just crazy shit. So the tour went Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta, Florida, 2 stops in Dallas, and ended up in LA. Right. So I'm thinking we're doing this whole tour, and I'm like going to be elbow to elbow, like Playboy girl. Nope. We're on the fucking rider truck, the freaking humps, driving around with like 6,000 t-shirts and 400-pound wheels, and these girls getting flown first class like place to place to place,
Oh,
not what you thought it would be, But I mean, the stuff we did was pretty interesting because like whatever it was, this tour was like January, February, and we had like Miss January and Miss February. So like I guess they drew like crazy numbers. So like the events were fun, but it was not what I thought. I'm gonna have these stories of like, me at the Playboy Mansion and with these girls around, like none of that. It was me and Tony T works with us, just two humps driving around in like the 24-foot box trucks into the city.
oh my God. It sounds like anything I've ever been hyped up on, right? Where they're like, oh, you get to do this. And you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing. And then you start doing, you're going, it ain't as glamorous as it appears on
Right.
social media.
But it goes to show you like how we can, as entertainers, we can take something and just twist it, just to
All
give like
day.
the high,
Yeah.
because I could say I played in like probably 60 clubs in Jersey. I probably only played in 12, but I could visit my friend and he's like, bro, I gotta go take a piss here, play these couple songs. And I'm like, technically I played I played those 3 songs, you know what I mean? But you could say like, oh, I played at this like whatever tower in New York City because I played the bathroom break. You're not gonna play I played the piss break, but
I tell
played
my family, I'm talking about like extended family. They're like, wow, it just seems like you're doing the most. It's like, don't believe the hype, It's it's a little smoke and mirrors here,
Yeah.
But everyone else, you're like, totally happened.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the story was like, I mean, there was some stuff in there that you could, talk about off camera that some stuff that but for the most part, it's not like what everyone thought it was.
Still a cool experience. I mean, just to even be able to tag that.
That's why it made me understand like when you're travel, like I learned a million things. Like after that, any travel event I did, like it was like automatic how much like, what to bring, how to pack, what you should do. Like I learned a lot. I mean, it was a lot of like tripping on myself to figure it out because this was my first ever. I mean, and this was, I don't know, this had to be like 99, 2000 or something like that when we did this. Which was kind of good though, because there weren't a lot of camera stuff. There wasn't a lot of social media because I think we probably did stuff that would now where you probably would have got arrested, the stuff we made people do at these clubs.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of travel, let's just roll into our travel tips and we'll talk a little bit about travel. So here we go.
Great Scott! Hey there, Drew and Fuse! It's me, Doc Brown! Quick, jump in the DeLorean! We need to get this episode up to 88 miles per hour! Now, hit the flux capacitor, and let's travel to the future!
Speaking of travel, let's talk a little bit of travel tips. You were just mentioning how you learned a lot from the Playboy tour on, traveling and all that. So do you have any travel tips for us today?
Well, I know you guys mentioned, I know you guys always say TSA pre. I have that and clear.
Do you find an advantage for clear? Because I get it free, and I've only not done it because by the time I'm done with TSA, I'm like, I don't know why I need to go scan my eyes. You know what I mean?
So I think it's a good weapon to have because there are certain, so like I'm in Jersey, right? So Newark is like, it's like a ginormous hub, and it's crazy. So sometimes it's almost when I'm driving down the highway, sometimes like it's faster for me to go through the cash toll than the easy pass. It's almost the same thing with TSA and pre. So I'd rather have both because sometimes TSA pre will move just as quick as clear, but other times it saves me. But I feel like in other airports where people haven't really caught on to much, like the clear is definitely quicker. It definitely saves me time. And I just think, for all the stuff we carry, and a lot of times for me, when I'm traveling, I'm doing like video and DJing. So I'm carrying like, it's almost like double the bomb making materials. Like you get all the cables and all everything else in there. So anything to help me not have to like put everything apart or whatever, I think is fine. And I don't care what they charge. Like if you travel, even if you travel a couple times a year, that's like essential for sure. And then I've also learned to like trim down, the amount of clothing. Again, like a lot of stuff I travel for is like we're doing conferences and stuff, and I don't need to have all the going out clothes like everyone else does. because I'm working. Honestly, if I'm meeting everyone, it's late night, it's whatever. So I always used to overpack all the time, and I don't. I have this one thing though. Let me show you this one. These things are like for travel hacks. I love these because I always feel like it's the adapters that is like the weakness for everybody. So I got these things that you can like put all your shit in, you know. So these are, I don't, what's this? BUBM. I have no idea. I just got it on Amazon. So this, I keep like every essential wire that I would ever need on here. Hold on, let me open this other side. So like when I travel, I know that like if I get, but the reason I do this, because it keeps everything really clean, and I know I'm forced to not bring 7 adapters when I only need the 1 or the 2, because that's another thing. I feel like I'm kind of like a hoarder or pack rat when it comes to cables, sort of like my music library. So like for me, for like travel tips, I think if you have something that forces you to stay organized, no matter what it is, you'll keep your shit tight.
Yeah, we just gave away that travel thing, a little travel companion, and that thing I have it in my bag. It's amazing because you just need a couple of those little connectors, and it's great to have. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is this. What's this brand? I think it's OmniCharge. Oh yeah, it's OmniCharge. Let me just see
I
it on
just
there.
saw that last night. I was watching this tech review guy. Okay, tell us about that.
I was getting killed on Instagram because I think, I have everything turned on. You talk about something, it pops up in your advertising feeds. So they said like, I read a lot about it. It says pretty solid. What I like about it, it has the outlet, right? A full like OG outlet. I like the USB-C goes both ways, so you can charge with it, but it will power out.
How long can you get with the full outlet?
I charged my actual laptop, my iPad Pro, my 12.9, and my phone on it, and there was still juice left on it. Fully charged all 3 of them.
Wow.
And the iPads, and these are like what I think this will do. You're allowed 97 watts, I think, legally on the take on a plane. So this thing flies in right at like 97 or like right below it. Cause I know like these bigger laptops are 100 watt, like the 16-inch one. So I guess technically, not that everyone's ever checked the wattage on anything I bought on a plane, but
no, yeah. I like that. I was gonna look into that. How much does that run?
Yeah, that's my question.
I think it was like 100 and change, and then it has the bag. So like I put like the cables I need in it. It came with I think the case was an extra $12 or something.
It's awesome.
But this is like awesome because I always feel like I never have enough juice, and sometimes honestly you can't always get the plane that had the seat that has electric. So sometimes you're just. I try and charge before I go,
You can get a full iPad, a laptop charge, but phone's probably 3 or 4 almost, right? With that big old thing.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. I think the laptop is what chews up the most. But for me, I'm always trying to edit video on the road because I think that's where I never have enough time. And since we're like traveling, you're waiting in the airport, you're on a plane. So that's my other travel tip is to always load up all that work you can never get done, like load it up, have it preloaded on your laptop or whatever, because you can bang that stuff out. I was on a train yesterday, from Jersey to Boston. I probably made like 12, 13 reels from video footage, not just like quick reels. So like that's another trip. I always say a tip is always load a bunch of stuff on there because I think we waste a lot of downtime in traveling where you can like get this shit done that you just don't want to do when you're home, because I don't know, for me, that's the best time to do it.
Well, you're completely right, and that's my goal for this year. I always like the downtime in the plane because no one can call me. So yes, I feel guilty for not doing stuff on the plane, but I like that. I just feel at peace. Like no one could bug me, nothing bugs me. I just turn it off and I can just chill.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs the rest time. Like for me, when I get off the plane to get somewhere, like I'll go work out in the hotel gym, and that's like I won't talk to anybody. That's my like, shake off the whatever the travel stuff. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Everyone has their thing. Also, another one is like always. I think you guys mentioned it too. Like to me, like stick with the same airline because it definitely helps. I think it helps. I was able to upgrade. I just came from a conference a couple weeks ago in Jamaica, and I was able to upgrade my seats, just because, whatever. Hey, Jeff, you're a silver member, whatever I was. I use United because that's my hub, in Jersey. Yeah. I think it definitely does. I think there are perks. I think they'll help you out,
I was talking with a famous, I I won't mention any names or where I know from, but somebody with some clout that should know these things. And anyways, they were like, they travel quite a bit, and they were saying, well, you use the same one. And I'm going, bro, you're killing me that you're still this is still not a thing to you. Why are you still going on Travelocity or wherever these things are and buying the cheapest flight? Because you're not really saving. If you're going to save more if you just stick with the same airline and buy it direct.
Bro, most people don't realize. I think I would say you take a poll. If you guys do a poll, I guarantee like more than 80% of people won't realize how much time is money for them. Like for me, I just go on United app. It is what it is. I mean, because if I'm going to spend 45 minutes going on Google and then like, oh, watch these flights, and I got to keep checking. To me, that's like cha-ching, cha-ching. That's money. That's money. Like I could be doing something else. I could be at a bar just drinking with my friends. You know what I mean? Like I could be doing anything else. So for me, like time is money. And I think most people don't realize that. Like sometimes you hunt so much that you should have just circled back and just stuck what you did, and you would have been done.
But something else to think about that I want to, a lot of these people are up and coming and starting to travel a lot more. Something to think about is if you miss your flight or the flight gets canceled or any crazy amount of circumstances, if you call the direct line like Delta or United, they're going to help you out. If you have to go to Travelocity to try and then go through a third or fourth party, you're fucked. It's all fucked. So definitely the direct signal,
Yeah, the only time I don't do that, like just speaking of travel tips, is a lot of times I'll use apps for like hotels, like Hotel Tonight.
I use hotel.com. Yeah.
Because
a little different.
It's small perks too, like you get your bags free, or even with Delta, you get, instead of the 50-pound bag allowance, your bag becomes they allow it to be 70 pounds, which I'm not packing a 70-pound bag, but if you're 5 pounds over, or if you got something heavy you're bringing, like that's a big deal right there. I mean, you're saving yourself money. You might pay a little more for a flight here or there, but once you stop with the budget airline and then you go, well, my bags cost this and this, maybe you ended up paying more, maybe you didn't. So it's like, and like Drew was just mentioning, if you miss your flight, they're more willing to help you, just get you home and not charge you anything, or there's a lot of perks to it.
That's the one thing I will say is I do have all of the hotels, Hilton, any specific one, but I have been using hotels.com because or Hotels Tonight you mentioned. I like it because I tend to book day of because I find it to be the cheapest. Unless you're going in on a busy weekend somewhere. Otherwise, book the day of. It's the cheapest. My procrastination finally is paying off.
But it is. That's where it is. Like in the winter, I do these little 2-3 day trips to Florida all the time, and like I'll just literally like I'm on the plane. I'll be like, oh, let's see what we got today. Where am I going to stay today?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like when you're going somewhere, like honestly, that when it comes to hotels, I don't need anything they're offering. I just want a bed that doesn't have bugs, a room doesn't smell like death, and I want to have like soap in the shower. Like other than that, like I don't need the hotel for anything else. So
I'm also picky, and I don't want towels that feel like sandpaper. I can't do the towels that feel like sandpaper.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. Sometimes gentle exfoliating ain't so bad. It depends on the time of the year.
One of the things that we were talking about is video editing and social media, and we know you're really good with that. But before we ask the questions, I'm going to play this social media clip. So here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Drew and Fuse, all shook up, you hound dogs. Don't be cruel. There's now or never. Let's talk social media.
Didn't the original video have like going like on forever? Wasn't that the original video?
Yeah. Okay. It went on for like 60
I was waiting for it. I never saw the video part of it, so I'm waiting. I'm like, it's gonna be like, I didn't know if it was that. I was like, all right, here it comes.
So bad. This one's better.
That's so good.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest Gump's responsible for teaching Elvis how to dance. So
obviously.
We have a couple different social media like video questions for you. My one that I wanted to ask you, and as far as looking for tips to become better, at video in general. We know you do a lot of the shots for DJC, and if guys that are listening to this have seen the DJC video, you're responsible for editing and putting that together. And it's a very quick turnaround. You do that. You're on site, you do the video, and then they debut the video at the end of DJC. So one of my questions is, what are your thoughts on like cutting the bull crap out of when you're filming, to get just the stuff you need?
So, like Drew, you mentioned earlier how like audio like drives everything. So for me, I have to find like when we're doing stuff like this, I have to find the song first. Because if I don't know the song, I don't know like when you hear a song like you guys both are visual guys. Like when you hear the song and you're like looking at like what's gonna happen for the week, you're like that's gonna go there, that's gonna go there, that's gonna go there, that's gonna go there. So for me, it's the song first, and like
You edit to the
picked
beat,
two
right?
songs. We'll edit to the beat. So once I know the song and like where it goes, and I always like pay like these $100 for like the royalty free songs, and some of the sites will give you stems, some won't.
Can you mention some of these sites
Oh
that you
yeah,
like to use?
Music Bed is one. Music Bed is one. Epidemic Sound is another one. So Epidemic Sound, I have a subscription to. It's like $20 a month or something like that. But that's good because like they have some good stuff, and you can, especially for vlogging, like you can rip through. Like during COVID, when I was doing like weekend vlogs, I would probably have 9 songs in there. A lot of background stuff, but if I say something talk, I want it to change because I feel like music really can drive a video the right way or the wrong way. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah. So once I know the song, and then we have a rough idea of the layout, what's going to happen, in terms of like this party's at this night, this is who's playing, blah blah blah. And
do you pre-storyboard then? Because that's always been my thing. Is I feel like you have to pre-storyboard, so you're almost, even though you're recording everything, you're kind of looking for the shot because where it's going to fit in, right?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll take all the music and we'll rough cut the music. So to me, that's like almost storyboarding because I'll know that. All right, like we are establishing shots, or like the people walking in, registering, all that stuff. I don't know. I think it's called that or B-roll, whatever it is. Like, so I know like the song is going to ramp up to this part. It's going to hit this thing. We need to pick up the pace. So we'll know. For example, during registration, we know okay, there's a Dolly Parton person there. There's a bus outside. They're gonna have some food, like whatever. So like we'll know like okay, we want to get those shots. They're gonna help like move it a little bit. There's a DJ playing. That kind of stuff. So yeah, we do kind of pre-storyboard it, like stuff we know we want to get. And we're also looking for, when you're doing like a conference, you're always looking for that, like the line that like someone says something like, epic, like, so we're always looking for like, so we'll have a camera that'll just record constant, like in the seminars, like on the main stage, it's just recording. So we won't miss that one line, whatever it is. So like this past year for DJC, we had a couple different lines. So we're always looking for that. And then wherever that's going to be, then we'll go back, we'll take the audio, we'll space it out to get that line in there. But then we know after any line, something's got to hit hard, because everyone's like, if the line is like have some impact to it, the whatever after that has to hit hard. Or people are going to be like, it wasn't really so special, whatever that person said. So from there, like we'll drive and, I love like songs that have like that, like stuff you can snap to, because I think it makes the cut go, so you can take a cut and then sometimes you can half cut it. Because especially when, I don't know, we probably captured say 1,400 clips of footage that you got to take it down into 2 minutes, so when you're ripping through it, once you know the music structure, it's a lot easier. Like, you look at your timeline. I don't know if that works at audio editing, but video editing, when you see like a clip is like this many, and you can take a clip now and just almost lay it on top and like in out the points, and then you can drop them in. So that, all right, this is a 2-second clip. I'm going to do a bunch of these. So it makes editing quicker when you know the music structure what you're doing.
So I want to transition, but I want to ask this question before we finish this part. Is when you're doing this edit, you take the audio and you're basically like, okay, hey, this is going to be a 2-minute clip. this is the ramps at these moments at every 30, 15 seconds, bop, 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 bop. And then you just fill in the space, right? And then that's my first question I'm asking. And then second question to lead into is, are you doing the same thing for reels? And what's the formula for that you have for that, or your social media stuff?
Yeah, so for like the conference stuff, yeah, we pretty much do it that way. We'll fill it in, ramp it up. I'll always try and like create a little energy, get some drama, create a little energy, get some drama, and then finish big. That's what you try and do. And stuff for what we do, it's easy. We have a lot of party footage, so it's a lot for that stuff.
Wait, is it almost like writing a paragraph or writing an essay? Because I feel like I don't know. Did you go to school for this, or how did you come up with this formula? Because it's fascinating to me.
I was like, what was that movie with oh my god, what's his face? He watched TV when he was growing up.
Me. That was me.
Yeah. Well, that was me too. Like I would be freak or So but oh my god, what's his face? Carrie.
Oh, Jim Carrey, the cable guy.
Cable guy, yeah. So like the beginning of that movie where like he's like like parents just stick him in front of the TV and he's like, yeah. So like I mean I was always just fascinated like just I'm a movie freak. I have like this AMC movie subscription. I can go to like I don't know unlimited movies per month. Like I go to movies by myself. Like I'm just all about. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I just sometimes I go to movies just to watch how the producer made the movie, and I'm always looking at like, people go in the room and they're like, hey, it's the movie. I'm like looking at the corners. I'm looking at like how the lighting's I don't know. It's just always been fascinating with stuff like that. But then I also wanted to learn more about it. So then I went to college again for graphic design only because I don't learn good. I don't learn well with books. I like learn from like seeing and watching. So
wait,
before
is this
YouTube
a specialty school, or that you went to, or was this actual like UC?
It was
whatever?
a college. It was a I guess it was a college in Jersey. So at first it was a trade school, then they got accredited to be a college. So I guess it was a specialty school initially. The first year, second year became a college. I mean, no one would ever know the name of it. It's like whatever. But I learned from like people showing me. So this was like before YouTube had like a lot of. I probably would have taught myself on YouTube at the time, but I paid like whatever. I paid the $30,000, the 9 years to pay it off. FU's college loans, by the way. And, so I just kind of learned, the basic of how to edit. And that's how I learned how to use a Mac. I was all Windows. And then I was on like Mac OS 7 point something, and that's how I learned how to like use, anything that was an Apple product because of like the Macs on there.
Big bubble TV with the blue or orange, right? Is that where you're on?
Yeah. Yep. That's where they started. Yeah. And then when the OS 10, it was like, the parting of the Red Sea. That's how I learned. So a lot of it's self-taught. I just learn, and just from weddings, like I'll watch like these video guys. I ask questions, like the whole time. Like I'm so nice to these guys that they'll give me the whole playbook, Here, you want video? Here, I got a plugin for you. Want this? Here, like let's test the audio levels, like whatever. And then the rest of the night, I'm like, what's this? What are you doing? What's that? And I've done that for 15 years. Just like something new comes out. I see the guy with the new fancy camera, like the Black Magic. I'm like, how's that? What's 10-bit? How does that work? So I'm just learning from these guys. They don't realize it, but that's how I learn. I just take what I learn. And honestly, I think DJs are the best editors ever because we understand music. Sometimes people understand. Sometimes people, they great at storytelling, but they can't translate how they edit a video. And I think DJs, like, we're so good at it because, like, just from us trying to control a dance floor, like, you can control the way a video is interpreted because you know what you want the video to do. It's the same thing we're trying to do when you go to a club or a private event. You want people, okay, we're going to warm them up. We want to get them going, but we still got 4 hours. Don't go anywhere. Hang out. Let's pull it back. Let's give you something to go, let's ramp it back up. And then at the end, let's like knock them over the head and then go in with the Sharpie, like, so I feel like that's what we're good at doing.
Let's draw mustaches. So, all right, give it. It's incredible. I'm exactly the same as you. I always say this on the thing is I grew up, my parents owned a video store growing up. So if I wasn't a DJ, I would have gone into some kind of filmmaking. And I feel like I appreciate everything that you appreciate. It's just that I turn off and I tune out and I don't pay attention as deeply as you do. So maybe you could help us with moving forward, like give the audience some kind of tips and tricks on being more how to grab your reels or grab that picture, because me and Fuse were both looking at your Instagram earlier and we're like, holy fuck, his Instagram is so fucking good. Your whole feed is just phenomenal, and maybe like a little tip or trick.
Yeah, I mean, I've always I think like the basis of everything is I post for my couples. I don't post for my friends. I don't post for other DJs. Like I like for me, if I wasn't in this, I probably wouldn't be on social media because I know it's a necessary evil. It's such a pain in the dick, but like I just feel like if I'm gonna do it, it's like my EPK, it's my sales thing. So I feel like everything I put out, I think if you think about it that way, it makes sense because like I'm always trying to put out something I can reference to, like when I meet a couple or meet someone to sell myself. Because I actually suck at it. When I joined SCE, like Jason's like, "Oh, you got to meet all your couples." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "No, I don't want to do that. I never did that before." You're like, "I don't like that. I'm not a salesperson. I suck." So I was just like, I'm gonna put out as much as I can where this stuff sells me, so I can just be like, all I can be like, "Oh, let me show you this." I don't have to sit there explain like what I do. Like, "Oh, let me show you this. Let me do that. Let me show you this." And then just through the years, you realize that, okay, you're showing the same stuff. So let's just show something a little different and try and show that, and everything I think I do is like personality driven. So if you see me, if I could like literally throw myself into Instagram, and then if you see me like down on the street, I'm the same person. So I don't try and be anything I'm not. Like I'm a hyper fuck, and I know Bird. If you know Bird that works with me, like I'm sure he wants to stab me 4 or 5 times every event. He's always the guy who's like, "Usa, bro, Usa, relax," and I'm always like, "We gotta get going," and he's always just like,
I love that you guys are polar opposites.
I know, yeah, you guys are. But I think that's one of the cool things about your Instagram and you too. I felt like the first time I met you in person, it was easy to chat with you because you very much are who you post, which is cool. I think that makes for easy conversation. It makes for, like you get to really know the real you.
Yeah, and when I first started posting, honestly, it was just like anybody else. Whenever I started, however many years ago, whatever, it's like, you're just posting a post and you don't figure out. But as you go through it, you realize like, what you put out there is what you're gonna get back. That's like another outside of like just post for like, for me, I post for the sales because I don't like doing sales. But like what you put out is what you're gonna get back. And like I want people to know that like I love doing mashups. I don't MC the whole time, but if there's an opening, I'm gonna like fuck with someone and like create a moment. Like, cause why not? Like it's these are lifetime events, and I do the same shit at like bars. Like I was doing a bar and this guy walked in, it was like a beach bar or whatever. This guy literally looked like Jesus. And I literally put my hand on the platter and I must have talked to this guy like 90 seconds in the microphone. I was just like, I'm like, "Bro, I almost didn't recognize you without the flip-flops, like without the sandals." I said, something like that, and the whole bar is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But like, it was fucking hilarious. Like, I thought it was great. Afterwards, the guy came out a lot. He bought me shots. Like, but like, if I see a moment, like I'm gonna, like, I don't know if I come from a large family and it's like, if you don't yell enough, like you don't get, it's like you see all the dogs and you don't get in there, you're not getting food. It's like my family, like, like I'm 5'3". If I don't like yell like I'm 6 foot nothing, I ain't getting food and no one's gonna hear me. I'm gonna step on man in the room, So maybe I learned at an early age that like, there's a moment you got to get in there and do it. But that's how my rules are.
I actually love that, and I think you're completely right. It does come from the fact that you're one of 10, which is bonkers to me. I mean, are you guys Mormon?
No. So the best way I can describe this, and I know my parents would never watch any of this, is that my mom was like basically came from like the church, like where you only have sex to procreate, and obviously my dad was not. So that's well, I guess it's a simple explanation. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. Should have said ins and outs, but
Hey-o.
yeah,
My dad has 9 kids in his family, and so that's why I say Mormon. They are Mormon.
Oh yeah. Nah, we're like, I guess Christian, Catholic, whatever it is. But yeah, my mom was like old school, and she's one of 12. So like, I guess it comes from.
No, I think it totally stems from that. But that being said, I watch your Instagram and it gets me hyped up, and it make me want to book you because I think it's well balanced and you're yourself. And so I think anybody that's going to relate to it's going to book you instantly. It's a great takeaway for people, to
Yeah,
grab
and I
onto
mean,
that. Just be yourself.
and I don't really chase the numbers, and it's interesting because in our DJ world, like how many DJs we know have whatever gone viral, and it's interesting because like Nick in our company, like obviously he's like his numbers are beyond stupid, like it's crazy. I mean, I've never chased numbers, and like for me, I always just if something ever breaks and goes, I'm totally fine with it. But my strategy has always been to just put out reels of stuff I wanted to get back. And I try not to duplicate. It's very hard not to duplicate stuff in the private industry because, we're seeing different crowds in the same scenario. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a little hard because obviously there's popular songs that people like. It's just the way it is. So if there's a way you can make a song a little different, like I can't tell you how many Mr. Brightside videos. I could probably post 5 Brightside videos a week because everyone puts on the request list. Everyone puts Whitney on there. I mean, it's just whatever for like that specific crowd. There's like those individual crowd banger songs.
That's true. It's true. Yeah.
So you just try and get someone. Hopefully, someone sings it where they have no shirt on or they're on top of a table, so it just makes that song a little different. So I'm always trying to,
Or they're naked. They're naked and they're holding their yo-yos, doing around the world, walking the dog.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a secret sauce with that. I just like however my personality is or what I'm trying to like put out there. And it's just a service. Like if you're doing something cool, like we're gonna make it snow, like that's like a no-brainer. Like that should be the reel. Let's make it snow and but the same thing is like just putting a cool song underneath it too. If you can't use, you know what I mean? Like I've seen so many great videos, but the song is just like poop. Like it doesn't make sense. It's like
well, with reels nowadays, though, they are allowing you to use the original song. So what's the trick? Do you cut it to the song you're gonna post and then go in there and so what I've done in the past is I'll tag that song and then I'll mute it with the slider. Is that something you do? Is that something you recommend or you unrecommend?
So, which is interesting in the stuff I get. So, like right now, I'm training Bird's girl Haley to shoot video, right? So, I'm kind of stuck to like what she shoots. So sometimes she'll record something and it's boss and she doesn't get to the end of that verse and it cuts and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a fuck yeah. Right?
They don't understand the drop.
Right. So sometimes I might have to like try and find the piece of the song to fit it, and then I'll just put my logo at the end, or I'll have to. So sometimes it's not musically the way it should go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So sometimes I just gotta figure it out from there. Other times, if I'm watching Instagram and I like a song, I'll save the audio. I'll record the reel just on my phone, like the record thing, and then I'll just stick that into Final Cut because I use Final Cut Pro to edit. And then I'll just attach the audio, and then I'll use that audio. Now I can't show a picture anymore because pictures are worth bullshit. But Bird takes phenomenal images. So now I'll take his images and I'll put them to a song I like. I'll just chop it up that way. But for me, I'm faster in Final Cut than using like a real like an app on my phone. Just sitting there like with the fingers. I can be on here like I know all the shortcuts. I can rip through on a computer in half.
But you do recommend using the real song versus using stock footage because YouTube, you're referring when you're doing all your other stuff, the stock footage, YouTube all day, right? Because YouTube sucks. But Instagram and TikTok, real songs. Is that correct?
I mean, I'll use this. Yeah, right. Correct. So when I'm at events, I have a separate recorder. I have a couple things. I wear a lav the entire time. And then I have a separate recorder direct. So I have, so the good thing about the lav is like when someone comes up and talks to you and like Haley, it's another thing we try and do. I try and get, like just exchanges because I think that's cool. It makes it more personal.
I have seen that with you. I really like that. Okay. And that's from the lav. That's interesting. All right.
So I have a lav because I like her to like it's better when the people don't know they're being filmed. They're natural. So if she's over there with like a longer lens, and she'll get the audio a little bit so I can sync it, but I'll have it on here. So someone's like, oh my God, everything is great. It's beautiful. I got clean audio, right? And because audio drives everything. Also, I have a recorder that I'll record the entire night with my mic, so I can, when we do a reel, I'm using that audio and I can move it around, but I also have the audio from the camera. So you get the, So I'm
Right.
layering like 3 pieces of audio I layer on it, but the software syncs it up, so I'm not like no rocket science calculations. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would say the real song. I mean, if you're allowed to use the real song, why not use the real song? That's
Yeah.
what not everyone.
No.
But you gotta. I like when you can layer the reaction on it, because like
No.
if you
Genius.
you have to, because like if everyone's going, but you don't hear that, it's like it's not the same. But when you hear going, like it's the best. When you can get that in there.
I do. All right, so we got this music segment, and then we'll talk some music. Here we go.
Hey, Drew and Fuse, Kermit the Frog here. When I'm not dealing with my pain-in-the-ass wife, Miss Piggy, I like to talk and sing with my friends. What's your top songs? A new personal favorite of mine is this. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. And they clean up nicely, because usually they look like shit. Yay!
Oh my god!
There it is.
Want to hear just a really quick old man story before I give you my top 5? The first time I had to play Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog as a wedding song, I had to pull out the VCR and record it off of the video from Blockbuster. So I'll just take it back a few years. Okay, what was your question?
I was just gonna add in there. You know how I know you're old? You know what a VCR is.
I figure since you grew up in the video world,
Oh, dude, I'm so old that we grew up with Betamax, so I know what the fucking VCR is.
My God, my dad had porn on Betamax.
Wow.
Sorry, squirrel moment.
It's like laser disc for tape.
Okay, what are we talking about? Top
Serato
5?
top 5. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is interesting because I definitely have something on here that has like thousands of plays, which definitely is not, which is kind of weird.
All right, so what we want you to do is just be as close to it as possible, right? And then if something's total bullshit, then just skip it. You know what I'm saying? So because we do know that some of them, I've found a bug specifically in Mix and Key that if it doesn't have a number, it generates a number. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so in my top 5, Come and Get Your Love, Redbone. Now, this is one of those songs that. So like when we're at weddings, me and Bird, like we kind of split the DJ thing. I play like during dance that he plays the background. He religiously played this as background, but then for some reason we gotten into this Guardians of the Galaxy era of like, oh my God, play those songs. So I don't care what the crowd is in front of me, I play that song during a dance set. It's just one of those things. Even if I'm in like I just did a Indian, Latin, Black wedding in Long Island, and I played that between Drake and something else because it was just one of those. Everyone knows it. That hey, so whatever, like And I don't know. For me, I'm always a crowd pleaser. I'm always just looking for that. Like I'll take care of my own stuff, but I always like to come back. So that's in there.
I love that. I use it for to open up dinner or to open up the room, but I need to start throwing it in for dancing. That's a fantastic one for dancing.
And if I could beat juggle, I would probably like want to do the whisper track. For some reason I would want to go. Yeah, it goes dum 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 dum. In my brain, I know. I'm not a producer. I don't edit. And my brain, I always like, I'll call up Jen. I'd be like, bro, I got this idea. He's like, yeah, like that's not even close. They're not even. I'm like, it sounds so great in my head. Yeah, not so much, Jeff. I'm like, okay, we'll shelf that. I got another one for you. But anyway, I'm always trying to think in my brain if I was a producer, how I would edit some of that stuff.
Stems it. Now you're in there with stems.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like the 14-inch to come out with like the next M2. Then I'll get that. Because I am a hoarder in my library, so I need an 8 terabyte internal.
8? I got 4 terabytes on mine, and I thought I was a hoarder.
Dude, I was at 7 terabyte before before 2020 hit, and that now I'm down to like 4.6. So I feel super happy about that, but I've been
B-side Metallica album. What?
Dude, I collected a lot of music like growing up. I just, I don't know. I'm just a fan of. I'm like, I can afford the storage, so I'm okay with it. But so anyway, my next one, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Let me think about it. And I think this is I got this from Static City, but I think this guy might have been on Crooklyn, maybe. The Let Me Think About It. Was it Ida Core? Let me think about it.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
baby. Ain't no and that one's like the first chorus and out. So I play that one because in my first set, it's a good way to like go from like keep older guests and then I can do some newer stuff. So that's always my first set. The third one I play at every single wedding. I don't care what kind of wedding it is the Seraphim edit of Carry On Wayward Son. Every single wedding without fail. I'm going to play it because it's such a left turn. Yeah. And there's always rock and roll fans in the audience. And I would say without fail, they'll come up to me or Bird during dinner and they'll be like, wow, I can't believe it. Like there's so many that just for me, I don't know if it's so much dancer, but I hit someone in the room. And it's a lot of times it's a person that was thinking about getting up or at the bar, but didn't. And they're like, oh, this fucking DJ is going to bibbidi bop me all night long. And like, fuck this. I'll just drink myself to death. And those are the songs when you can do something like that. And what is it? Like 40 seconds? I have no idea. But every single wedding without fail. That's in my top 5 because I just think those are like
it's a great one. No, it's a great one. I love that track. I play it as well.
And then the other ones that are just kind of line up same, they're just kind of like pretty normal stuff. Like another one. Well, actually, this one is like 6 or 7, but Christian CL in our company, he actually put this on DMS. It was the Dunk CL body edit. It's Soulja Boy, Megan Thee Stallion. It's like, you got a dunk.
Oh yeah.
Like body yada 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 yada. But then it has that lip gloss beat on it. What you know about me? But that's DMS. So that one's like in my top 10. The other ones are just like Boogie Shoes. I got this Ragosa Staying Alive. This is how we do it. That's up there.
Yeah, it's a good one. That 4A right in that little pocket of 104. There's so many blends with just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a lot of mashup stuff. So, I'm always doing like I do that. You have that edit that 3X with What's Going On 3 Non-Blondes. That is always a video edit.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah.
After I was talking a lot of shit about
Aiden
that,
Scott.
Aiden Scott.
Yeah. So I edited it out because that drop is too long. So it just goes like, hey, what's going on? It's like, dan, dan, dan. I just chopped it to, because that break, I always feel like I have to tell a story about how the bride and groom met or something, because it's just too long of a drop, So,
I just started playing the hook only of the original, and it works.
Oh, yeah. So again, it's just like a lot of this stuff is like, it's just my opening set. I try to be very mashup because I just want everyone to know they're going to hear something like that, and then I always hit something hard in my first set. So the bride and groom know like whatever. And then so the wedding party think I'm cool. I don't know why I do that. But I do that. But I am a big fan of like mashups. So I just do like a lot of that kind of stuff. But that kind of falls in my, that stuff. I mean, I'm a pop guy. Like if I was to show yesterday, Saturday's wedding is very different because I was playing Indian music and I was playing like Drake and whatever. That was like very different. A lot of 2010s hip hop and some trap and shit. But generally, I'm an energy guy. So I'm like in and out, course out. I'm like,
So generally, are you opening up the dance set at the 128, 130? You're up high?
A lot of times I will open up high, but I feel like a lot of our weddings are like, Jeff, we want to do like a first dance and then right into a dance set, so like I stack the deck. Like I literally get everyone to stand up, come to the dance floor. Cause like, hey, we're doing intros, but really I want that because they're on the edge of the dance floor. So now I just got to basically have them walk 4 steps and like, instead of them like, hey, stand up out of your chair, come walk over here. Like me and Bird have this game plan. Like everything is so methodical that way. But then once we get to the dance set, my folders are not as organized as they should be. So like, I'm always just like, Bird always tap me on the shoulder, be like, ooh, do this. Because like he'll see something happening that I can't see because I can't see shit. When the dance floor starts, all I see is like the backs of the first whatever, and I literally, I mean, it's funny, but it's like I swear to God, dude, like and Bird's 6 whatever, he's a bird. So like
Yeah.
he can just look over and just see like what's going on. You know, he'd be like, "Ooh, dude, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's a good idea." So we'll definitely
You guys are
like
literally
squirrel.
like yin and yang in all aspects of life.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, we are, but like we'll squirrel a lot during sets. Like if we see something, and like I don't save anything. I mean, there's stuff that obviously makes sense to play later, but if I can get someone to do something, I'm always just like, you know, Bird would be like, maybe we should save that. I'm like, we'll panic later. He's like, fucking great. That's just want to see you panic one more time tonight before I fucking kill you. That's what he's always like. I'm like, let's do it now. We'll worry about it later. He's like, relax. We can do it later. You know,
I'm very much
Yeah.
the same way, especially at private events. It's like throw everything at the wall and then I'll figure it out later. I feel like when you've hit them upside down the head with just about everything under the sun, they're like, okay, I trust DJ enough. It's fine. You know, so if you're hitting,
and then you
not
get
that-
away with something. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's not. It's if it's B-sides, you get away with something, or if it's B-sides, it's like they don't care. They're all
Yeah.
sold.
Well, like even when I played a bar, I'll do the same thing. Like I'll I'll make sure they're comfortable with me, and then I'll do some shit that you know is probably inappropriate. There's stuff that like I've done. Birds like, dude, you can't say that. Like we're doing a group photo, we can't find grandma, and I'll be like, we have a silver alert. We have a silver alert for grandma. You know, which is
Silver alert on line 12.
right. Isn't a silver alert like when like someone who's like senile or so or like whatever, they don't have their wits to them, and they take a car and they leave, and you can't find them. Isn't that a silver alert?
No idea.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. If you look, all right. So, world, if you look it up, I think it's a thing. It is in New Jersey. Like, if you're going on a highway, it says silver alert with a license plate. That means that someone who doesn't have their wits about them fled. And we can't. It's like an amber alert for older people. Is what a silver alert is. It's an
Wow.
actual thing. I'm not making it up.
When I was young, both my dad's parents had Alzheimer's, and my grandfather, he would just get butt naked and run up and down the street and just go for it. You know, he had the yo-yo. He was doing around the world. He was doing walk the dog. And then they would find him and they would bring him back, and he was always just doing some crazy shit. And I think there's your silver alert, even though he didn't have silver hair, but it was still that deal. The silver alert, there it is. I was jealous because whether he was telling the truth or lying, he's the man for just going with it. Like, I didn't know. Like you're about to you're towards the end. You're like, I don't give a fuck. We're going balls to the walls. So then, favorite remixer and producer?
DJs from Mars. I love them.
Oh, so
I
good.
heard about them like a long time ago before they were. I remember the reason I like them because they make fun of themselves. Like, what's that magazine does like the top 100 best DJs and they're like no idea who they were until like they popped in the feed. They were like, we're 99, we're 99. They're like, they just made it onto the thing and they were so proud about it. And then I started seeing their shit and I was like, oh wow. And they sent out the remix packs and you know like love them. Beat Breaker is another guy I like a lot because. I feel some people. So Nick Bike, for example, I love Nick Bike. He's on Patreon. I play his shit all the time a lot. But I noticed like a lot of his stuff. He's like, hey, I'm making edits for my mix show, and I'm gonna put them out there. So I feel like some people make edits that make sense for like mix shows and stuff, and some people produce edits I think that are for dance floors. You know, so I tend to try and find stuff like that. If not, I have to like I love this, but I gotta find a way to or ask Jay and I to edit it for me so it makes sense. You know, like. You know, where it's like for dancing. And I think Beat Breaker, I love his stuff because he puts out stuff that I think that like, even though a lot of it might be a big room and I have to find a clean version or make it clean, but like, I like stuff like that. Like, it's why I like, you know, DMS. So you guys put out a lot of stuff because you understand dance floors, you know? So like, I love those two a lot. I don't remember White Panda. I don't even know if White Panda's even doing stuff, but White Panda was another mashup guy that like put out some stuff earlier, which I totally loved. Like, I like mashup. I've always just loved mashups, you know? I just think it's just a great way in the protest space, you know, to get like a lot of different music in.
Yeah.
So I would say probably those. Like I lean a lot towards kind of that stuff. Fisher, I love that. I don't know, is Fisher a they or a him, but
well, it's technically a guy. Is he a surfer or I don't know exactly the story, but I know we've heard that like Chris Lake is kind of his ghost producer, but he has somebody up that's up there actually doing it. What am I missing? Is he a surfer? He's somebody, right?
Fisher, I don't know. I don't. But I mean, I like that kind of vibe because like I'm also a dancer. So like when I go out, like I actually like I go on dance floors. Like I dance. I love dance, and like music like that. Like it's like it's good for like if you're a dancer. So I think another reason why I like certain stuff is for dance floors because I'm not like I know a lot of us DJs are like we're just more like we hold the bar up, like that kind of stuff. We hang that we live over there, but I'm like first one on the dance floor, like the dance. So I try and find people that produce that drives dance floors. So I
Yeah.
kind of
There
so
you
I
go.
like that kind of stuff. So I would say that kind of in that realm.
So, okay, this is something that we wanted to talk about, and it's a little personal, but we know your girlfriend is a DJ Valentina, and one of the things Drew and I were talking about off camera before you jumped on here is that you guys are like a DJ power couple in a sense, and she does a lot of big gigs as well. And one of the things that I would like to ask is how, in one sense, we haven't talked about relationships a lot on the show, but I think this is a good time to bring it up because you guys are in the same field, in which that can be a great thing at times, and I'm sure that presents its own struggles at times too. So it's just something we wanted to ask you a little bit about.
So I would say it is an absolute great thing because I think every field or profession that you're in has its own challenges. And I think what we do is like the weirdest. Like we don't have like there's nothing normal about art. Like just hours alone. There's just nothing normal about it. What the rest of the world normally does on their off time, we're on our on time. Like we're opposite a lot of the world. So I failed at pretty much every relationship before this because of that, because they don't understand what we do, like, how, you work every weekend and you can't go to, your cousin's christening and then the communion and then the baptism or the graduation party or the high school graduation, the sweet 16, because your DJ knows other things for someone else. And, you're booked, whatever it is, you're booked a year out, or if you run a company, like there's so many other things. So I would say it's amazing that she understands that. So it's huge because like to be able to talk about that and understand, like and be able to relate to it and the hours. So where it gets tricky is that well, for one, I decided to fall in love with someone who lives 5 states away, not around the corner. So, there's that. F you, Cupid, you could have figured that out a little better. So
Yeah, but listen, I think that's so minor because being somebody that likes to travel, it's really not as hard as, I mean, the time constraints suck. Yeah, you're like, okay, well, I got to pay extra or I got to do this, but it's not as hard as I would say it might have used to be.
no, I mean, and we're honestly like I've worked it out. So if I drive to see her and I do it like at night, no one on the road, it's 3.5 hours. Not terrible, honestly. It's like a couple movies. So I may or may not watch movies while I'm driving at night. But
How would you
anyway,
may or may
like,
not do that? Is that through Apple Pay or Apple CarPlay or?
yeah. So I have the smaller Apple iPod and I just put it in the dash, the
Oh
iPad.
yeah.
So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
movie, yeah. So you just kind of watch it that way.
I didn't think you did that, but yeah, just curious if you did.
Yeah. I may or may not do that. But anyway, like I mean, that's where the distance, like, so, if we happen to have one day off, we want to hang out, the one day makes it tough for her or I to get together. It also gets a little weird, like when our schedules don't sync up. For example, like this whole thing, she had an event in Boston on Thursday and then flew to Florida to do a wedding down in Florida, came back to do a wedding in Boston. I was working like Jersey, Long Island, came back, took a train up to see her in Boston. Then I'll be here for, 3 or 4 days, go home for Christmas Eve, then come back here maybe Christmas Day, so like it gets a little funky. But I think the fact of understanding what you do, because I will say this about any profession, there's people that have jobs and there's people that have careers and there's people that have passions, and for me, DJing is a career and a passion. So if the person that you're with, no matter who it is, if they don't understand that, it doesn't matter if you live in the same house, the same block, the same country. If they don't get that, you're doomed. You're doomed because like, like there's a lot of people that don't look forward to going to work. We look forward to going to work.
The
So just
lifestyle.
yeah, just to have that alone, like that is like, I mean, I could talk for hours just on this because like we've had many discussions and we're trying to figure that out, how to carve more time for each other. But we both love to travel, thank God. She loves to dance. I love to dance, which is amazing. Like we're like so into like I just did a conference in Jamaica. She went as an attendee. I paid for like the party package thing just so I could just go there and dance and and it's really like a black focused business kind of promoting their end and stuff like that. And just go down there just to listen to like Afrobeat and like hip hop and and soca and the whole time we just like dance like the whole thing, wake up, have a few more like dance, so like we have a lot in common that way too. So I think having that way, it's kind of cool to and just anything that you do. And because like I said, we don't have normal hours, right? So we might work for 3 hours on a Monday, 12 hours on a Tuesday, be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it's so weird. Like whether you like residencies at bars or clubs, or you're doing private events or travel stuff, like nothing's normal. So if no one understands that, knowing that like you can't really buy food, because like you don't know where, you don't know like, oh, I'm gonna stack the refrigerator. Oh, this is coming up, we're traveling. That's how I'm gonna throw. You know what I mean? Little shit like that. It's like it's the weirdest thing to like stuff that normal people don't get into. But I think it's amazing that we're both in the same industry and they get it. And I cheerlead for her. She cheerleads for me. Like last night she was doing an event. I came up just to shoot media for her. And so I didn't DJ, nothing, just to get content, and she'll do the same for me. And the cool thing is she has some really great contacts. So I get to work at these like beautiful Newport mansions up in Rhode Island, so like when she's not available, it's like she'll refer me and, we do the same thing for her. It's like, it's kind of cool. So I would say all in all, it's definitely way more positive than negative, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I think, I've been married at this point, I've been with my wife almost 18 years, and it does get hard, but she understands, and even just having someone that understands, I think, is enough. It's hard, but yeah, that's cool, man. I'm jealous.
I think you said some very key important things in there, and there's a understanding. One being the understanding of that, it is work for us, but it's a passion, and because it's a passion, a lot of times the work to the other person, what might be work, comes first. You're willing to answer a phone call that you might kind of have to take, but not only do you kind of have to take it, you want to take it at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night or something, because you kind of need to. It's like it reminds me of when in Entourage, when Ari Gould is sitting at couples therapy with his wife and his phone's ringing, and he's like, he's contemplating not answering, and he's like, it's fucking business. I need to answer the call because it's good for my business. Like, you like having this, and he's like, but it's really true. It's like, if somebody doesn't understand that, it really makes things hard. And I've been in relationships before where they don't understand it.
Yeah, it is tough. And we try, and just because like she's a DJ as well, I consciously try and we try. We don't literally just talk gear and DJing the whole time too. Like we make it a point not to. Like well, obviously what I think is great at the end of the night, we could talk about like, you just you're on a high, you want to talk about what happened at the event. So like in past relationships, people will be like, I don't care. What does that have to do with us? So she appreciates that I can, throw up about what I did at my event, and she can do the same thing to me. And then we can talk about other stuff, So, but it is, I think, just the understanding. And like Drew, you find someone that understands that. I mean, like that's gold. It really is. It's gold, 100%. Because it's the weirdest industry we're in terms of relationship. And you look at the success rate in our industry, it's probably up there with probably like lawyers and cops and whatever the people. Highest. Yeah, like the highest not staying together rate, whatever industry that is. It's secretly we're somewhere in there with an asterisk next to it, for sure.
Yeah, totally. I was gonna add to that, but no, it's impossible, dude. I think you just have to work-life balance, figure it out.
Yeah, and if I could show this to you guys right here, the and cards. So Valentina's turned me on to this. You guys gotta, if you look this up, they make these for couples, for whatever, just dating, whatever. The best thing about this thing ever, that card ever is before we get out of the relationship thing, because I think this is super important. Like, when your other significant other says something to you and you feel like you're being attacked because they said it, the good thing about this cards, it's like the neutral person in the room, but in paper form, asking the question. It's the weirdest, coolest thing because like you can't look at each other and be like, why are you asking me this? Because we didn't ask it. Like the card did. But it's over there. You know what I mean? It's the great, and they have it as an app now or whatever, but honestly, just like you got to check it out. It's the coolest thing. It's a great icebreaker. No matter what you're in, and it lets you and it's like those questions that you kind of maybe when you have a moment, but you forget to ask, like when you're with that person that you're with, whoever your other person is. But those cards are great. Like we used to carry them all the time, like literally go to the bars. We'd spend 5-6 hours. We'd have lunch and dinner at certain places because we're going through those cards.
I pulled it up. All right, I'm gonna order this. Okay, so let's see. It's there's a red one, a maroon one, a red one, and a black one. The couples reconnect.
I think the black one, couples edition. Yeah.
The Sutra, Life Sutra, the reconnect cup.
Oh yeah, well there's intimacy ones too, which is I don't know if this is that type of talk about
family dating, long-term couples edition. There you go. All right, I'm ordering it right now.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, it's super cool. Like it's a great way to just like stay connected because that was the Valentine is a very deep person, and that was a way for her to break the shell at me because I'm so used to in relationships of just like people not getting me from what I am, but like the fact that she's in the same industry was like the gateway drug for me to like be able to communicate and talk about like that. So I think it's tough in anything. Like I think if you're a lawyer and you're married to a lawyer, they get it. If you're like whatever you are, if you're a cop, you're married to a cop, they get it. So I think it helps when you have someone similar, or at least someone that just open and understands you. Like those are like the gems too.
It's hard. We really want to talk about tech, but unfortunately we have to wrap up. We wanted to do the sauce, or we could do tech and end it. We don't have to do the sauce, and we could just do the tech and end it. So I'll let you pick.
Do the tech.
All right. Let's see.
Is there a video? Is there a video for the tech?
There is.
Oh yeah.
There is a video for tech. So we'll play that here real quick.
Hey, C3PO here. Drew and Fuse, I hear you love technology. What are some new gadgets you guys love? Oh no, R2, stop being so foolish. Let's hear about your new tech. Time to go. Master Luke needs me.
There you have
Anything
it.
with Star Wars, say less.
All right, hit us. We know you're a tech wizard when it comes to, I mean, really, honestly, you've shared so much amazing stuff. So, does it the QSC Touch Mix? What do you got for us?
Oh yeah, so the new in audio for me, I'm using this guy right here, the Zoom F6. So
Go the other way.
Yeah, you have reverse cameras. Yeah. So it has like 6 inputs. Not do you need this many inputs. The reason I had gotten this is that if you guys have heard of 32-bit float audio.
No.
Yeah, so basically it's their version of trying to be like raw audio. So they're trying to give you like all this information. So even if you get like 16-bit or 48 kilohertz for recording audio, there's still some sort of compression to it. So the theory with 32-bit float, it's almost when you have a camera and you can shoot RAW or JPEG. A RAW photo gives you all the information. So if you blow it out, all the whites, you could pull it all the way back in, where JPEG says like, all right, this is information we like and we're going to squish it. So 32-bit float audio, it's the same theory where as long as you're giving them if you're pushing a bad signal, you're pushing a bad signal. But let's just say, and this is what I use on my events now. So let's just say I hook this up to my Touch Mix, and on this first audio thing is coming from the Touch Mix. So I'm using my handheld mics and my audio, all right? And I get the levels pretty cool on the Touch Mix. The second one is my lav mic that I wear all night. So if anyone comes up, I got that personal connection, good audio when I'm doing the thank yous, when I'm lining people up, when I'm talking to the maitre d'. So these are all separate. So on here, I can pull them out. Now, as DJs, as we get going in the night, we start playing louder because our ears get used to it. We start playing louder, we get used to it. So if I didn't touch this dial here, then it starts pushing into the red, and it's red the whole time. With 32-bit float audio, you can go in your editor and pull it right back down, and it's clean. As long as obviously you're not pushing distortion. As long as you're pushing a clean audio, but you just, because I'm not paying attention to the knobs, I kind of set it and forget it. So I've had it before where I've pushed it into the red, and it's showing, you're looking at the waveform, and it's just like flat, like all the way across. In the editor, you can pull it down. So in other words, it's trying to give you, I guess at this point now, as much raw information about the audio as possible. Like the unit itself is not making the decisions for you. It makes the file bigger, but I think it's great. And I only got this because I wanted 4 inputs, and they had like 2, and then there was this monster. So I got this because like when I do the conferences, I need more inputs.
So help me
know what I mean?
understand. You're plugging all the audio out, and so does the mics go in first to it, and then it goes to the touch mix?
So in my world, the touch mix is the brain. Everything goes into the touch mix.
Right.
And then from the touch mix, I'm sending audio out to here. And so the touch mix, since it has all these extra inputs, I use a dedicated aux channel on the touch mix for just video. So the beautiful thing about that is, like, when you guys set up in the room and you got the room whatever you want, you do whatever you want with the aux. It doesn't fuck up the main room sound. So in there, I know that I have like a softer, like Mickey Mouse voice. So I can sit above the music, I think, because I don't have a deep voice. So I'll get the mic here, and I'll put the audio somewhere like right there, and it's pretty good. So if I'm recording it, that sounds great. And then on the second channel, I'll just do my lav mic because I don't want that to mess up with anything else, because it's really for more specific things I'm going to edit. But everything goes to touch mix first, and then the aux channel. The same thing like when a videographer plugs into me, he has his own aux channel. So he can set, some video guys just want mics. They don't want the music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, just through the touch mix. And then this is all the okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, right. So you can record into the touch mix, yes, but this 32-bit float for me is genius, and especially at the collective. It wasn't Scratch Bastard. Who's the dude that did like the disco set? Remember that disco break?
Oh yeah, Chris Silas. Chris.
Right, Silas Chris. I was running that a little too hot, but I was able to pull it right back, because I literally those breaks were like, hey, the speaker ends, and then they run outside. I was just like, I yanked this, I ran outside, I just plugged it in and went, because inside they were talking, just talking, so I got a little hotter, and then over there it was like music. So this 32-bit float saved that whole set. And they have them. This is like a really good unit. It's a little pricey. It's like $1,700, but for what I use, it makes sense. And I always say, if you're gonna be in the business a little while, sometimes the money's worth it. Don't cheap out. If you're like a weekend warrior, you do 10 events a year, don't go spend $700 on anything.
How long's the record time on that?
It'll keep going until I run out of space. So I right now, and I think you put, I have a 64 in there. The beautiful thing about this is you can put a Sony battery on it. You can plug in power, and it also has double A's. So you're incredibly backed up on it. Also can be a sound card. So if you're live streaming, you can USB-C this into a computer, and it could be a sound card. Wow. I've seen video guys live stream with this at weddings. So they use that as a sound card to live stream. So that's a boss, And then 2 other things really quick. So I know when you guys saw me, I was drawing on, let's see if I can do it on this guy. Was I drawing on here? All right, let me go down to this.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, so remember now I was doing he's here, talking here, that's all here. So there's this app. It's called Video Pencil. There's a guy, I think he's like a millionaire, and he's a programmer, and he makes these little widgets for Ecamm, and Ecamm is the app I use right now that's running a virtual camera into you guys. And I use Ecamm for all my appointments. I actually use it when I'm video DJing, because the stuff you can do at an event with Ecamm is amazing. I just found this thing, so now when I'm doing appointments, I can literally I'm just going to go back to this. I can literally, if this is a picture of a room, I know, so great.
Ever.
See all these people, they're going to be so happy that I hid them all. But with this thing, if this is a room, I can be like, oh, we can put the bride, we can put the I have this on the video pencil. Oh yeah. So we can put the bride and groom here, and like there can be like the photo booth over here, and so like the thing about this, I think is amazing is that you can do so much stuff with it. If this works, I can be like, congratulations. Oh, it's just, and it uses voice and the pencil. So like it, so it just, so the reason I geek out on this stuff is because when SCE had our office, we would win just on like first impressions. We had this 100-year-old loft space. They used to build parachutes in World War II, like distressed hardwood floors. People walk in, they'd be like, now I'm trying to turn Zoom into the SCE office. So anything I can do to make my Zoom appointments seem like so like crazy over the top, like that's why I'm doing like, so something like that. I think this is crazy. And this just came out. So now I'm going to use this. There's certain things at weddings. I'm going to try and use this because like at weddings, I'll do like wireless video, but now like with this, I have these ideas. I think of what I can do with certain stuff. Cause like right now it's showing my live, it's showing like, like this is my live video. So like when I'm on here, if you have a camera on here, I can literally like circle over my eyeballs. I'm turning sideways, but if I get in there,
this guy, Santa,
I can kind of get in there. You know what I mean?
Looks like the man's.
So I can do whatever. But it's a cool it's a cool little app. I mean, and then even for media, I can go into my library. I can pick something. I could pick something from the library, and just say it's a space for a venue. I could talk about it. I can be like, oh, like, so this picture I just took in literally from my photo library. So I can bring this in and be like, oh, like we're looking at Dancing on the Clouds. I'm like, oh. I could be like, oh, you see how this looks right here? Like this is like super cold and like it covers the whole dance floor. Like everyone's standing right there. Their feet are gonna like you can get super detailed. And
amazing.
I mean, I know it's super nerdy, but when a client, especially like Jason gets really expensive clients and he's not booked, like maybe I might get them. And if this client's going to like spend, I don't know, $10,000, $12,000, if I can do this and visualize this for them, for like what I'm trying to do in a space, I think it's a great tool. And I know it's super nerd, and it might work with other stuff. I know it works for Ecamm, but it's called Video Pencil. So you can look it up. It's an app. It might work with that. Like, I think that's super cool. And then the last jam I want to show you is this. Gotta get this back in the window over here. Give me a second. How do I bring this back in the window? I don't even know if I can get it in here. So this is called like it's a digital EPK, right? So it's called solo.to.
We have those.
Oh, you guys have that. You guys using that?
We have one and we use it for the Drew and Few show too.
Yeah, but I think it's genius. We've never talked about it. It's way better than the original one. So I love Solo. Yeah.
Linktree.
Yeah. So yeah. The reason, like, I know a lot of people use Linktree. The reason I love this because it just has a sexy interface. Right. And everyone, like, I know a lot of people, like I even saw, which I want to reach out to Digital Dave about. He like had this, I remember he showed like, who is my new EPK? And I think like the beautiful thing about this is that you can design this yourself and you can update it as much as you want. You know what I mean? So to me, this is in my bio of Instagram. And I just got the URL, jeffscottgould.com. But like this is a great thing. So like this, I have a video in here, right here. It like basically, right. So like that essentially is explaining like what I am or what I do. Like it explains this whole EPK, right? You got links in here. You got like all your events. These are like all my mixes for people. This is the one video I was telling you about, Drew, off camera, that I was in the Canon R6 release video.
Oh, okay, nice. I want to look that
up. So
I
think that like that's like the way to go when it comes to EPKs. And I think solo.to does it the best so far.
And are you paying for it or no?
I do. I pay for, again, for me, like if I'm using something in the long term, like what's the, it's not even a lot of money, but like literally I use this for everything, like when people are like, oh, let me check you out. And I use I have QR codes like on everything. I probably have QR codes on my underwear at this point, but like my QR code goes to this. Every QR code goes to this. It's my EPK, and then from here it takes you to everything SCE. And again, like I hate doing sales, so this is the best way for me to show everyone all inclusive. So if you're gonna do something for yourself, I think this is the best way to do an EPK because again, you can change it yourself. You don't have to have someone design it. I think it's very sexy looking on the front end, and on the back end, it gives you enough as long as you have the content. I mean, obviously you have to have content to link to it, but
I hate doing sales too, and this is my biggest takeaway. This is my sauce is basically one, be yourself, and then two, make your content speak for itself so that you don't even have to sell. It's just like, did you see that? If you didn't, then we're not a good fit. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but those are my tech tips that I got so far.
Well, this has been an absolute incredible interview. There's so many clips that I can't wait to clip from this. He's even got us with the liquid death there.
I had it because I thought you guys were still. I was gonna like this. I was like, congratulations for the sponsorship. I had the confetti ready, the whole thing. But then you're like, oh, it's only 3 episodes, so. But I figure you guys deserve me. I think you still.
It actually wasn't even 3 episodes. We were faking it until we were making it. So you never know with us. You just don't even know what to believe.
Okay.
We just have a podcast and we spew bullshit, and we may believe some of what we say, and we may not. You never know.
Nice. Well,
we do believe.
I made this, so I believe it.
Yeah. I believe it. We do believe in the.
He believes of drops of Jupiter all over his face with the Briggs beard oil. That's one thing he does believe in.
Dude, hey, you know what? We're going sober, and I'm going all in on the liquid death. This is all I'm going to be drinking. So we'll be getting it. Dude, you've been incredible. Thank you. I mean, just so prepared, so much knowledge. I can't even thank you enough for being on. Hit them with all your links and all your stuff. I mean, obviously you just give them the solo, but what else do you want to give them?
Yeah, I mean, at Jeff Scott Gould, you can follow me like pretty much everywhere. I think everything's at Jeff Scott Gould or SC Event Group. Like we're pretty easy to find, so I've heard. We're around. We get it. We go to places. But yeah, that's it. Jeff Scott Gould. Thank you guys. I honestly, it was a blast. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I made it. I made it.
Dude, you had the most informative episode that we've had in a while. I mean, fuck, you came very prepared, and I'm impressed. So thank you for doing this, dude. I'm very honored.
Blast.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, that is gonna conclude today's episode with hailing in at 5'4", weighing in at 3. I'm just kidding. That does conclude today's episode. Thank you so much for everybody that's been listening. Make sure you use that promo code DAFS at Briggs Beard Oil if you want to get yourself looking nice. We got 30% off your first month at DMS using code Drew and Fuse Show. If you haven't signed up for that, make sure you do it.
Also use DAFs at Liquid Death because they won't give you anything, but they'll give us something for it.
Yeah, so please rate and review on iTunes, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow Jeff. Check out his solo page. It's awesome. If you guys haven't got solo, it's awesome. I think the cheapest plan is like $1.99 a month. So it's a great thing to use, great tool to use. That's going to wrap up the show for today. So until next time, see you guys later.